Thank you for giving this opportunity. We are really grateful. It is really building the bridges between the community at such a time. So let me begin with a Jain prayer, which is Namaskar Maha Mantra. Salutation to fivefold Parmeshtin. Namo Arhantanam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Ayaryanam, Namo Uvajjayanam, Namo Loe Sabbasahunam. Eso Panchanamokaru, Sabva Pavapanasanu, Mangalanam cha Sabve Singh, Padhamam Havai Mangalam. This is a prayer which is salutation, and this prayer is composed in Prakrit language, and I would like to sing in a Hindi and English translation. नमन हमारा अरहंतों को, सिद्धों को, आचार्यों को है, आगम पुरुष उपाध्यायों को और लोक के सब संतों को नमस्कार। पंचक यह पावन करता सब पापों का नाश, सभी मंगलों में प्रधान है, प्रगटे भीतर दिव्य प्रकाश, प्रगटे भीतर दिव्य प्रकाश। I salute to Arhat, the enlightened ones. I salute to Siddhas, the liberated ones. I salute to Acharya, the head of religious congregation. I salute to Upadhyay, to the religious teachers. I salute all monks and nuns in this universe. This fivefold Namaskar mantra is destroyer of all sins and bestower of all positivity, all auspiciousness. Now, the topic altruism, which I would like to start with the Jain perspective. In Jainism, Sabbe jivavi icchanti, jivyum na marigyum. All the living beings want to live. Nobody like to die. So this is one common aphorism. And then again one common aphorism from Tattvartha Sutra. Parasparopagraho jivanam. All souls are rendering services to each other. As Bhai Kashyap discussed on this pandemic time, how the communities came together without any discrimination of religion, caste, creed, color. And this was the beauty of Parasparopagraho Jivanam. All souls have the power to render service to each other, to help each other, to nurture each other. And it was really a time, and when this seva, the time, alarming time of seva came to each and every religion's doorstep. And Jain Vishabharati took one type of seva. That was the seva keeping food packets to door, which were needed, and making a network. But this was the material seva. The second seva, we set a time every day, 2 to 4 o'clock. We were available on the Zoom, and those people are feeling lonely, depressed, alone, or sick. So there are various sessions like half an hour chanting session, half an hour meditation session, half an hour yogic kriya, half an hour asanas. So every day, 2 hours we were available. But again, 2 hours for personal consultation. If people have some problem, family problem, kids problem, spouse problem, or any sort of mental or emotional problems. So listening them and telling them what to do and what not to do. So this was again one-to-one consultation during these 2 years. So this was, I think, an emotional and mental service from Jain Vishwabharati. And also, we conducted every day chanting session, morning pranayam session, and meditation session, then afternoon study session, and again evening chanting session and relaxation session. So people can do relaxation and sleep well. Sleep is the balm of life. If they don't sleep well, then might they get various sickness. So this type of services, so one hand, the material services, on the other hand, spiritual, mental, and emotional services. And the third type of service was done by Jain Vishwabharati, a team of 40 doctors of various disciplines. And whenever we get phone call, okay, someone is in this problem or that problem, they can have the doctor's consultation free of cost, one-to-one. So this type of service, so here each and every soul has that power. And if we start doing from our core of heart, it means the compassion is coming into action. And this is the one thing that human being, they can connect to each other, support to each other. So today I would like to thank Vimla Sila for this interfaith meeting. And small is always beautiful. We are representing our faith, but we are together in all situations, joining the hands and working together and talking together, understanding each other, and also want to pray Chattari Mangalam Arhanta Mangalam Siddha Mangalam Sahu Mangalam Kevali Pannatto Dhammo Mangalam Chattari Loguttama Arhanta Loguttama Siddha Loguttama Sahu Loguttama Kevali Pannatto Dhammo Loguttamo Chattari Saranam Pavajjami Arhante Saranam Pavajjami Siddhe Saranam Pavajjami Sahu Saranam Pavajjami Kevali Pannatang Dhammam Saranam Pavajjami. Om Arham, Om Shanti, Shanti. Om Arham.
Make it out of there. Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Pragnaji, for your enlightened talk on altruism about the religion. So now we would like to invite our Sikhism speaker, Mrs. Chandit Singh. She's the chair of the Friends of Interfaith Organization, Hounslow. You can see our local interfaith leader. So please deliver your speech, please.
Thank you. Thank you to Venerable Sila Vimla for his kind invitation. Of course, today is the day when the Sikhs are celebrating 553rd anniversary of the coming into the world of Guru Nanak. And I have just come from the Gurdwara just to be here on time. So, and of course, it's a bit difficult to manage at least 7 functions during one day. And I'm just hoping that there is spiritual energy generated as a result of which one can manage a little bit better than one thinks one can. I would like to start off. I know both our Hindu friends and Jain friends have covered quite a bit of ground before me, in relation to what happened, particularly in the COVID situation. And locally, of course, our local Gurdwara has been providing PPEs, scrubs, even over a period. And of course, people would know who have been listening to the news that the first time in the history of the world, oxygen langar happened because of the shortage of oxygen in hospitals in India. It was a big, big thing. And Zoom links and other links have helped us to carry on to some extent doing our local services and things. And we are still testing at our local Gurdwara, for COVID. We are still providing vaccination services there as well. So it's continuing at the moment. So that is one side of the practical stuff which is going on. I would like to give 2 or 3 examples from within the Sikh history about altruism and how the faith feels about it. Just as it's Guru Nanak's birthday, I'll take one example from Guru Nanak's life when he was a teenager. And he was considered a wayward child by his accountant father. And in order to learn the family business and trade, he was given 20 rupees and instructed to go to the neighboring market town with a companion to make handsome profit by driving a great bargain and show that earning to his father upon his return. On his way, passing through a jungle, Nanak saw a group of scantily clad holy men who looked weakened by hunger, and a thought came to his mind, what would be better bargain than feeding the hungry? He bought tons of food and served it joyfully and humbly to the holy men, who were absolutely delighted and blessed him, but on his return received a battering from his father. This incident is recorded in Sikh annals as the true bargain. So the community kitchen, the Sikh practice of langar, was established and continues. Are you able to hear me, or is this something?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So the Langar practice more or less started when Guru Nanak was a teenager, in other words. So those 20 rupees, which was at that time a significant sum of money, the Sikhs believe that practice has helped Gurdwaras all over the world to continue that practice. So it's the first altruistic example we get in our community. And altruism is definitely, from my perspective, essential to Sikhism. The central faith in Sikhism is that the greatest deed one can do is to imbibe and live the godly qualities like love, affection, sacrifice, patience, harmony, truthfulness. The concept of seva, which has been talked about, means selfless service to the community for its own sake. And it says, which dunya sev kamaiye ta darge basan paiye. Through selfless service, eternal peace is obtained. And selflessness is an antidote to ego, I-amness, me, mine. And it's about being kind, compassionate, generous, and loving others without expecting any reward. And this is the right path, and continues to be the right path prescribed by Nanak. He says, Kal khaye kich hathon de Nanak ra puchane. That is, earn an honest living and then share that with others. That is the true right. I would also like to say something about 400th anniversary of our Sikh Guru, Guru Hargobind. And this is in the context of what people call the Diwali celebration, and the Sikhs call it the Bandi Chor celebration. And that is because on that day, Guru Hargobind arrived from Gwalior jail. Gwalior is about, I think, almost 1,000 miles from Amritsar, where he was imprisoned along with 52 Hindu rulers and princes. And there were others in that prison as well. And the Mughal ruler of the period eventually realized that he shouldn't be in the prison because he hadn't done anything wrong. So he wanted Guru released. And the rulers who were there, who were very attached to him, felt really bad that he would be leaving them. And he said he's not going anywhere. He would be with them till they are released. So a condition was put upon him, and that is that he can take as many people as they can hold on to his garment, because it was a very narrow path, and it's through that narrow path he could take 5, 10 maximum. So he decided to get a cloak made, cloak with 52 tassels, so that each of those rulers could hold on to his tassels and come out. So it's considered a day of prisoner release by the Sikhs, and that's why and they were not Sikh rulers; they were Hindu rulers, and that was his act of kindness towards other prisoners. Not that he was going to gain anything out of it, but he felt humanly and spiritually responsible for those people. Similarly, the story of the ninth Guru, Guru Tegh Bahadur, is also talked about in the context of not dying for your own faith, but dying so for the faith of another community. And that was at a time of huge atrocity on the Hindu community. So from within Guru Gobind Singh's, his writings, it is said that the Guru made this supreme sacrifice in order to protect the Hindu frontal mark and sacred thread. So the Guru sacrificing for the life and cause of others. And it is considered something that a Sikh is not just for his or her own faith, but for protecting the rights and freedoms of others. So a unique sacrifice made by him. So in the late 17th century, at Guru Gobind Singh's time, there was a war between the Mughal rulers and the Guru's groups. And it is said that Bhai Ghanaiya, he was attending to the troops and looking after them. Those who got injured in the war were being given drinks of water, tended in that way. And somebody actually, and he was giving water to both enemy soldiers as well as the Guru soldiers. And somebody made a complaint to the Guru saying, we are fighting and he's reviving them. What is it that he's doing? So the Guru called him that these people are complaining, and to explain what were you doing and why. And he said, I was giving water to the wounded because I saw your face in all of them. And the Guru responded, then you should also give them ointment to heal their wounds. You are practicing what you were coached in the house of the Guru. And Sikhs are very proud to say that this happened almost 100 years before the Red Cross was invented, funded. And the Sikhs, wherever they are, try and do the same in war situations or other situations. So I sometimes feel that the Sikh way of life is about altruism and to ensure that human rights are honored and justice is ensured. And of course, on this Interfaith Day, we should believe and we should think that we need to think about one humanity and one divine. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Charanjit Singh. And also we can see Ajit Singh is sitting nearby. And it is nice to listen to your talk on altruism in Sikhism. So now I would like to invite Most Venerable Bogar Sili Naik there, head of the London Buddhist Vihara and president of the Sri Lankan Sangha Sabha of Great Britain, to deliver on a speech on Buddhism.
It's all right. Good afternoon. First, I would like to share the Buddha's perspective about altruism. And secondly, I would like to share our experience at the Vihara during the pandemic time on this subject of altruism. Altruism is a benevolent state of mind, working for the well-being of others, charitable acts motivated purely by altruism. This state of mind is an antidote to selfishness and greed, which are the underlying mental forces of violent behavior. Altruism basically originates in compassion. While it looking at the suffering of others, pure feeling of compassion arises in the hearts of good people, and they are then motivated to alleviate their suffering. In Buddhism, compassion defines the vibration of the heart looking at the suffering of others is called compassion. Suffering caused by various reasons: ill health, poverty, fear, being unable to achieve one's expectation, etc., etc. In the Buddha's teaching, the first noble truth is suffering. Buddha had given many causes for suffering. Compassion is not mere feeling, but it is a mental force to help others to alleviate their suffering. So the Buddhist concept of compassion is the active force in helping to those in need. Here I would like to quote two pieces of advice which are directly connected with the concept of compassion and support. I quote, "Monks, go forth for the good of the many, for the happiness of the many, out of compassion for the world, for the good benefit and happiness of men." Another very strong advice was, "Bhikkhus, parattam patipajyata," monks work for the welfare of others. The three main practices in Buddhism are dana, sila and bhavana, meaning generosity, morality and meditation. These three practices are directly connected with altruism. Mainly dana or generosity is the predominant practice with altruism. Dana simply means giving without expecting anything in return, even a word of thanks. There are three types of giving. Amisha dana means material subjects, mainly food, clothes, medicine and shelter. Abhedana means giving fearlessness. Due to so many threats in life, we all have fear. The main fear is fear of death. Abhedana means freedom from fear of death. This fact is connected with the first principle of morality. That is, I abstain from killing. This is a point where altruism not only practicing generosity but also avoiding unwholesome, harmful actions too. The third dana is dharma dana, which means sharing wisdom, guiding to stop evil actions and leading a very good life. Again, altruism in Buddhism is based on divine abodes or Brahma Viharas. They are loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy and equanimity. These qualities give a profound mental attitude towards dedication for the well-being of all living beings. Especially altruistic joy is helping to others, looking at the progress and success of their living. This kind of happiness can be achieved by the helper or the sponsor. This is called mudita. The Buddha highlighted 4 kinds of individuals. The first individual is he who does not strive either for his well-being or the well-being of other beings. The second individual is he who pursues the well-being of others but fails to pursue his own well-being. The third individual, he who strives for his own well-being and not for the others. The fourth individual is he who strives for his own well-being and well-being for the other beings as well. According to the above classification, the fourth kind of individual is judged to be the best, who work his own well-being and also well-being of others as well. Therefore, in the Dhammapada it says, for the sake of others' welfare, however great, let one not neglect one's own welfare as well. This is especially for the spiritual well-being. Santideva, a Buddhist monk and scholar in the 8th century, described the service to others in this way: may I be a guard for those who need protection, a guide for those on the path, a boat, a raft, a bridge for those who wish to cross the flood. May I be a lamp in the darkness, a resting place for the weary, a healing medicine for all who are sick, a vase of plenty, a tree of miracles, and for the boundless multitudes of living beings. May I bring sustenance and awakening, enduring like the earth and sky, until all beings are freed from sorrow and all are awakened. I also like to quote a Sanskrit saying, rivers flow down not for them but for others. Trees produce fruits not for the trees but for others. Cows produce milk not for them but for others. Similarly, good person's life is for well-being of all. Finally, I want to say altruism not only well-being of living, but actually it applies to the whole environment. As everything is interconnected and interrelated. This is the discourse called Vanaropa, growing forest, the Buddha uttered. They who grow orchards, forests and make bridges, they who provide water for drinking and give dwellings, their wisdom grows constantly day and night. They are those virtuous people living righteously go to heaven. So, this way we can apply the altruism to the environment as well. Again, I would like to say a few words about how we monks and our Buddhist community work for the welfare, how we practice altruism during the pandemic time. This is a very challenging period to whole world actually. So everyone, those who needed help, the other healthy people should support to them. In the Vihara, actually during the period was very, very busy place. First, we had different programs here in the Vihara. Every evening we had a guided meditation session, and also those who needed practice meditation, we provide daily basis and weekly basis and monthly basis meditation guidelines, guided meditation. Especially we help them to practice on breathing, relaxation meditation, and also loving kindness meditation as well. And every evening did chanting, we monks, to give blessings and to encourage people, those who were suffering, those who became the victim of the COVID. Some people were actually known to us very well. Unfortunately, we were unable to visit them in the hospitals, but over the phone, and we talked to them, giving counselings, and sometimes what they reminded them the good qualities which they have practiced, and also helping to the families. Those who lost their loved one were suffering. We talk with them and counseling them and giving Buddha's advice and share the teachings of the Buddha, how to develop peace in their mind and how to face this challenge with courage and determination. And also, there were some people around here, especially homeless people. We provided ration material food to homeless centers around here, the Vihara, especially one of the centers here around here is Acton Homeless Center. Monthly basis, we had provided material, dry rational food to them, and they have actually, they appreciated very much our service. And also we helped them, some people, those who were born in Sri Lanka, they were happy to have some Sri Lankan herbal medicines. In the Vihar, we have been given some herbal medicines, and we provided all these herbal medicines to them as precautions to use. This way, during the pandemic time, we try our best to help and practice altruism according to Buddha's teaching. So, our monks and our supporters, they've provided a lot of foods, and we have distributed these foods. And this way, I would like to reflect upon this altruistic practice with compassion and also with my gratitude to all those who have helped us. Thank you so much. Let me, Harriet.
Thank you, Venerable Sir. And now I would like to invite Dr. Harriet Crabtree, the Executive Director of Interfaith Network UK. She is delivering her talk on significance of the Interfaith Week, we can remember Dr. Harriet Crabtree was working hard for many, many years to develop the interfaith relations from the beginning of the Interfaith Network UK. So you have worked hard. I know always you would like to join our interfaith activities. Thank you very much for joining. And please deliver your talk, please.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be with you again this year. And it's most kind of you to invite me. This is, I suppose, one of the busiest times in the year on the interfaith front. It's a wonderful time because it's a time when people of different faith communities and those of non-religious beliefs come together and make common cause on all sorts of fronts. And last year we saw the highest number, I think, so far, and some types of organisations shot up in their participation, even though it was a time of COVID and nearly everything was online. So, for example, we had 90% more schools taking part. And if you take a look at your, I don't know how many of you out there who are participating today use Twitter or Facebook, but if you look at either of those social media platforms, you'll see them buzzing with marvellous things, school children, things that the police are doing, things that the fire service are doing. There's a big exhibition in the House of Commons, which the Speaker of the House of Commons has put on about MPs and Commons staff and their religious belief. But all of these things, and they are important and they help promote good interfaith relations. At the heart of the week, though, are the faith communities. And the Sri Lankan Sangha Sabha and the London Buddhist Vihara. Let me just focus briefly, if I may, on the London Buddhist Vihara and on Venerable Sila Wimala and the Venerables, and indeed the late Most Venerable Vajrayana. Because I think the continued participation of the Vihara in the week is extremely important. It's been consistent in the way that it's engaged. And it's been I know it's sometimes a struggle given the other things that are going on at the Vihara. Venerable Sila Wimala is a man with a very busy diary, as are other venerables and those of you who are taking part. But I think it is significant because it embeds the week locally and it also raises the profile of it nationally. And the Buddhist traditions are very significant in interfaith engagement. So I would like to personally thank Venerable Sila Wimala and colleagues and the Vihara and Sri Lankan Sangha Sabha for their participation. The theme of this particular discussion is, I think, altruism in the different religions. And I've listened with interest to those presentations so far. It seems to me again that this is very much at the heart of everything that Interfaith Week is about. It's about how we live together well. And when we draw on that strand of altruism as one of the key values, the kind of key commitments we have, we make a much stronger contribution to building the positive society around us. I'm not going to give, I hope you'll forgive me, Venerable Sila Wimala, but I'm not going to give a very long speech. I really want to just underline the importance of your contribution, of the contribution of those faiths represented today in this dialogue, all of whom so far have offered most interesting reflections, and I'm looking forward to the later ones, and of the wider pattern of faith communities in the UK. I know that Venerable Sila Wimala was keen that I mention those, and of course, in membership of the Interfaith Network, there are a wide range of others, for example, the Christian churches, Jewish communities, Muslim, there are a number. Pagan, I shall forget my list in a moment, and I'm not going to try and list every single one. I see Charanjit smiling there. The list, it grows in a very positive way. But this discussion today, Venerable Sila Wimala has drawn together those from Dharmic traditions. And I think there is a coherence and a helpfulness to that to do occasionally in this way. So I'm going to sit back to say thank you again. Congratulations on another successful event. And thank you for participating in Interfaith Week. And now I'm going to, as I say, sit back and listen to the other presenters with enjoyment and interest. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Harriet Crabtree. So it was always you participate our activities. It is a very encouraging thing for the interfaith activities of the Vihara, and also it is nice to have connection in that way. So our next speaker is Dr. Desmond Biroff. He is the chairman of the Buddhist Society. He is going to talk about the solidarity of faith communities. So thank you very much for accepting our invitation, and please you can deliver your speech now.
Hello, good afternoon. Lovely to see you all. Really nice to see you all. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to just say just a few words. It's really a great honor to talk on the subject of solidarity. You know, but one hears so much about solidarity, you know, different political parties coming together and different groups and factions and people joining up together to various political opinions or various movements. But I think when we talk about spiritual, you know, solidarity, we're talking about something that we all know an enormous amount about. Although we don't always know we know that. There are so many difficulties and troubles in the world. And really this problem that there are such rich people and such poor people is because we're unable to feel what other people feel. We're somehow constitutionally incapable, you know, number one, of actually feeling what our neighbor feels. You know, it just seems extremely difficult. And because of this, we separate each other. We're separate from each other. And we have another great weakness, and that is our arrogance and pride, because we also want to look down on other people. You know, we want to feel ourselves superior. And if we don't want to feel superior, we want to feel inferior and so weak, I can't do anything, everyone above me knows everything. We can't feel equal. And because we haven't done enough, I would say the great religions, you know, open a door for us where we can, all as human beings, we can enter, we can open this door. This is a door to the human heart. And just before, about half an hour ago, I was quickly looking at some of the Buddhist sutras, thinking I was going to mention some of these. I was looking at the Rohitansa Sutra, where the Buddha is approached, you know, he's approached by a young man. He said, you know, Lord, is there a place, you know, where there is no death, where there's no suffering, where there's no disease, where there's no death, where there's no pain? And the Buddha said, is there a heaven somewhere where I can go? But especially nowadays, you know, it's the same sort of question many people ask themselves, do they not? I mean, it's not Rohitansa asking that question, but many young people seem to think that there is somewhere out there a place, you know, where they will find an escape from all the difficulties of life, whether it's on playing games on their computer or making vast amounts of money, it's all there. The material world has never been richer, nor has it offered more. And this really creates that delusion. But the Buddha said, no, he said, no, there's nothing out there. Wherever you go, you can go to the highest heaven or anywhere, you will never find any release. The only place where you will find release, he said, is in the human body, you know, in this fathom length body, thoughts, feelings, and perception lies the origin of the world itself, and the road that leads to the ending of this world. Meaning the road that leads, the path, the spiritual path that leads to the end of suffering. And we all have that human body. That's the one thing we're given. And we need to make friends with that human body. So our solidarity is really something to do with waking up. Wake up, as the Buddha instructed us and urged us to do. Wake up and just be aware of where you are and what you're doing and how you're behaving. And if you can wake up to the reality of your own body, your own feelings, your emotions, your own passions, and so on, then you have a possibility of really, not only for yourself, finding a way out for yourself, but also that light that lights up inside you is then can be spread to other people and shared with other people. And, with people who do practice, and the other night I had the opportunity to being invited to the Lord Mayor of Kensington and Chelsea, where there was faith leaders, from the Christians were there, the Sikhs were there, Muslims were there, the Orthodox, all the different branches of Christianity. There was a really lovely evening. It was really nice to be in the presence of people who clearly practice. But also it made me got to know a little bit about the Sikhs in our community. And I know that it's Guru Nanak's anniversary now. And the teachings of Guru Nanak are the universality of this light, the spirit that's in all of us. And all of us understand that. And the fact that that light equalizes us. It has that capacity to give us humility, to make us humble, and to make us realize that we are just like everyone else. And she talked about the Gurdwara they have in Kensington, where they all sit on the ground and the food is shared and so on. And so there was such a beautiful, I was really touched by the beauty of that ceremony. But we do have ceremonies, but do it in life share. We don't share much, really. We're pretty stingy when it actually comes to it. But with this theme of solidarity, I do think it is very important, for all faith people, particularly the Dharmic faiths, for us to come together and to meet regularly. And I'm really pleased that Srila Vimala has given us this, Venerable Srila Vimala, has given us this opportunity today to come together. And it's so lovely because it does really affirm, the commonness of faith and belief and so on. And the real values that come out of that, the values of generosity and hard work and energy and all the rest of it, kindness and the understanding that's gained from actually practicing those virtues. And then the hope that through doing that, we do actually slowly, very slowly, begin to get an understanding of ourselves, our own frailty and weakness, and our own need to rely on other people and the help of other people. At the same time, something else comes too, and that's that strength that comes from that understanding. Something starts to grow inside us, and that it's not me, not mine, but it can lead one forward and give one all the energy one needs in life. And it can be shared because it's infinite. It just keeps on going, It's not a limited quantity. It just goes on coming out. It never stops. It's like opening a spring and it just keeps pouring out. It's not mine, it's not, I don't own it, it's nothing to do with me. And we all share that capacity. And the more we can learn to get in touch with that, the more self-reliant we can be, the less selfish we are naturally, because the heart is filled with gratitude. The heart is emptied of resentment and anger towards other people. We don't feel that bitterness of jealousy and envy. We feel at peace. We feel at one with the world. We belong to the world. We are part of the world. And all that nasty feelings that we can carry around in us are dissolved by that sense of gratitude and wonder and the capacity to share with other people, to feel one is, we are together in this world for a limited time. in that limited time. Small things can be achieved, and those small things are really important. They're really valuable. And anyway, I think that probably talked long enough now, and probably brings me to the end of my little slot. But thank you very, very much indeed, and to our Sikh friends, very happy Guru Nanak Day. And once again, Venerable Sila Vimala, thank you so much for this opportunity. And yes, let's do things together. More opportunities we get to do things together, the better. Thank you.
Thanks, Doctor. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Desmond Biddulph. So it is a very special talk for us. Now we have the item reading and Buddhist chanting. Listen to some chantings of the monks. Venerable Kassapa will start the reading of the Karaniyametta Sutta translation.
The discourse on loving kindness. One who is skilled in the good and who wishes to attain that state of calm, nibbana, should act thus. One should be sincere to oneself, upright and conscientious, of soft speech, gentle and not proud. Contented, living simply, peaceful and unburdened, with senses calmed, prudent, modest and without showing anxiety for support. One should not commit any slight wrong on account of which wise men might censure one. May all beings be happy and secure. May their hearts be wholesome. Whatever living beings there be, those mentally feeble or strong, physically long, stout or medium, short, small or large, those seen or unseen, dwelling far or near, those who are born and those who are to be born, may all beings without exception be happy-minded. Let none deceive another, nor despise any person, whatsoever in any place. In anger or ill will, let one not wish any harm to another. Just as a mother would protect her only child at the risk of her own life, even so let one cultivate a boundless heart towards all beings. Let thoughts of infinite love pervade the whole world, above, below and around, without any obstruction, without any hatred, without any enmity, whether standing, walking, sitting or lying down. As long as one is awake, this mindfulness should be developed. This, the wise say, is the highest conduct here. Not embracing false views, virtuous and endowed with insight, giving up attachment to sense desires, indeed, such a person does not come again for repeated becoming.
Now we are going to do some chanting of Buddhist. Sabbityo vivajjantu sabba rogo vinassatu mate bhavatvantarayo sukhi digayuko bhavatu sabba mangalam Rakhantu sabba devata sabba buddhanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam Rakhantu sabba devata sabba dhammanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te bhavatu sabba mangalam Rakhantu sabba devata sabba sanghanubhavena sada sotti bhavantu te. Now we have another item, that is some prayers from the Venerable Nagasi from the London Peace Pagoda. I would like to invite him to do that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Venerable Nagase Shanin. So it is the time to listen to some music. That's our devotional songs by Dhamm School children. You can listen to that now.